Hello everyone. Today we are going to start the first chapter of our syllabus, that is the solid state. When we start the solid state, but before that, one question asked to you in your book, that is, can you recall? The question is that what are the three most common states of the matter? Last year we discussed the state of matter chapter. And we know there are three physical state of the matter, that is the gaseous state, liquid state and a solid state. That means we know the answer of this question. In state of matter we discussed the gaseous state in detail along with all gaseous laws, including Charles' law, Boyle's law, Avogadro's law, ideal gas equation and so on. This year, last year, little bit we discussed about the liquid state also. This year, we studied about the solid state as well as the liquid state in a solution chapter. Then, here we start our syllabus from today, because this is the first chapter of our syllabus. Then, in introduction, most important point is given there. The three states of matters are due to the interparticle forces of matter. Here given, that is the solid state of matter is characterized by the strong interparticular force of attraction. But more elaborately we say that these three states of matters are due to interparticle forces of attraction. This, as we move from gaseous state to liquid state to solid state, then the interparticle force of attraction goes increase and increase, stronger and stronger. It means that the interparticle force of attraction is less in a gas as compared to liquid. In liquid, less as compared to solid. It means that interparticle force of attraction are more in a solid, so they are hard and rigid. These forces are weak in a liquid, so it is soft, and they are weakest in a gaseous state. In other words, we can say that in gaseous state, the molecules of the gas are far apart from each other compared to liquid, and the molecules or the particles are closer in solid as compared to liquid. It means that this three physical state of the matters is due to the interplay of interparticle force of attraction. This interparticle force of attractions are also affected by two factors, that is the temperature and the pressure. Temperature and the pressure. It is also given in your book, temperature and the pressure. Here it is a temperature and the pressure. Then, what is the effect of temperature and pressure on the state of matter? We know that temperature and pressure are inversely proportional. When the temperature is increases, what happens? Solids get melt into the liquid and liquid get vaporized to gas. It means when the pressure is increases, when the temperature is increased, at the same time pressure is decreases. If the pressure is increases, what happens? Pressure, because of increase in the pressure, gases are converted into the liquid and liquids are converted into the solid. At the same time, when the pressure is increases, it means that the temperature is decreases. So, these two, that is the temperature and the pressure, can affect the what? State of matter. Now, Here in this video, the matter is classified into gaseous, liquid and solid. In the first case, gaseous molecules are far apart from each other. Liquid, in case of liquid, they are closer, and in case of a solid, they are much closer to each other. Therefore, the compactness or the arrangement of the particles in solid is strong as compared to liquid. Liquid is strong as compared to gas. Then these are the three states due to interparticle force of attraction. Then here the solid molecules, when the molecules are compactly arranged in case of solid, they are move along their position only. That means they are not free to move. They have no translation motion. They are vibrate along their position only, like this one. Then therefore that molecules are not move. Then we can say that solids has these properties like definite shape and the volume, inability to flow, then incompressible, and the solids are rigid in nature. Then here we discuss the solid and the liquid. But if we compare these states, if we compare these two states of the matter with the gases, then it is easy to study how they are differentiate with each other. Then in the first column, property column is first column is the property column, in which 6 properties are given there: volume and shape, compressibility, flow, diffusion, force of attraction between the particles, intermolecular space. Then here solid, second column is solid, third is liquid, and fourth one becomes a gases. Then we discuss distinguishing point between them one by one. Then volume and the shape. Solid has a definite shape and a definite volume. Liquid has definite volume but not a shape, because liquid acquire the shape of a container, while gases has a no definite shape and a volume. Compressibility. Solids cannot be compressed except porous solid. Liquids are incompressible, but gases are highly compressible. Flow. Particles do not flow, solid do not flow because of their compactness and fixed position. But the liquid particles are move, that means they can flow. Particles of gases or the molecules of the gases are easily flow. Diffusion. Solid diffuses, but their diffusion is rate of diffusion is very slow. Liquids are diffuse fast, but gases, the rate of diffusion of gases is high as compared to liquid as well as the solid. The force of attraction between the particles may be molecule, atom and ion. High in case of solid, less in case of a liquid, and very less in case of gases. Then intermolecular space. Intermolecular space is again depends on the compactness of the particles. Here in case of a solid, compactness is high, therefore the intermolecular space is very less. But in case of a liquid, intermolecular space is more as compared to solid, because compactness is less. While in case of a gases, the intermolecular space is very large. It's very large because the molecules are far apart from each other. These are the distinguishing points between the solid, liquid and the gas. This is our Thus, we must say the solid has a properties like this. Then now next point of the chapter is the types of solid. There are two types of solids, crystalline solid and the amorphous solid. Then we first discuss about the crystalline solid. Then what are crystalline solid here? Then the crystalline solids here we discuss the examples. First we see the example of the crystalline solid here. Then what are crystalline examples of a crystalline solid? Then ice, salt such as NaCl, metals such as sodium, gold, copper and materials such as diamond, graphite, ceramics are example of a crystalline solid. And these examples are we observed in day to day life also. So these are not new for you. Then here we define, or first we discuss the what is crystalline solid? Then crystalline solids are the substances or the solid. Actually, it is a homogeneous solid in which the constituent particles, atoms, ions or molecule are arranged in a definite repeating pattern is called as crystalline solid. Or simply we can say that the substance whose constituent particles, that is the atom, ion or molecule, are arranged in a definite geometrical pattern in three-dimensional space is called as the crystalline solid. And the example discussed here, we here mentioned in your book also. Then what are the characteristics? The characteristics of the solid are also given in your book. First one, there is a regularity and a periodicity in the arrangement of the constituent particle in crystalline solid. The ordered arrangement of the particle extend over the long range. This long range word is the most important for us. Then next one is the crystalline solid have sharp melting point, that is they melt at a definite temperature. All crystalline substances except those having a cubic structure are anisotropic in nature. Anisotropy means what? When we measured the properties of the crystalline solid, the properties such as mechanical properties, electrical properties, when we measure these properties, then their values, they show different value in a different direction in a same crystal. This means this property is due to different arrangement of a constituent in a different direction. Different type, and this is because the different types of particles fall on the way of a measurement in different direction. Hence the composition of the crystalline solid change with a direction changing in the physical properties, and therefore we get the different values of the mechanical property, mechanical strength, refractive index, etc. Then this is anisotropy. That means anisotropy and the long range order, these are the most important characteristics of the crystalline solid. Example is given in your book there. Then here next one is the amorphous solid, but before we see this video, solids are classified into crystalline solid and the amorphous solid here. Then as we discuss, crystalline shows a definite three-dimensional regular arrangement, right? This is crystalline and this is three-dimensional arrangement of the particle in crystalline solid. In this crystalline solid, particles are perfectly arranged with each other. So it is a long range order. This is long range order. This is this diagram, about this diagram, this is a long range order. Then because of this crystalline solid shows the sharp melting point. They cut with a sharp edges and the plane surfaces. This is about the crystalline solid. Then we discuss about the amorphous solid, which is also given in your book next to crystalline solid. Then first we see the examples of the amorphous solid. Then what is amorphous solid? Here glass, plastic, rubber, tar and metallic glass are a few examples of amorphous solid. Simply you can say that the talcum powder is also the example of a amorphous solid. That means they are similar to that of the talcum powder, and structure, as we use the talcum powder daily, then their structure is not like a crystal. They are soft to touch. A similar type of the structure, that means we can say that these amorphous substances are similar to that of the talcum powder. These are the below given, these are the examples of the crystalline solid here. Then amorphous solid. Here we discuss the amorphous solid. Then how will you define the amorphous solid, or what are called as amorphous solid here? The solid or the substance whose constituent particles are not arranged in any regular arrangement are called as the amorphous solid. Then this amorphous solid shows or do not have a long range order because the particles or the molecules are not perfectly arranged in a 3 dimension like a crystalline solid, that is they show the short range order. Suppose one particle is aligned with a second but not a second with a third. Because of that, their order is a short range order, not a long range order. Then this solid, that is the amorphous solid, shows what they show? Isotropy. If we measure the mechanical properties, refractive index, electrical conductivity properties, they show the different values in a different direction. They show the similar values. Crystalline solid shows the similar, different, but here the amorphous solid shows the similar values of these properties in all direction, that is called as the isotropy. Because of the short range order, their melting points are not sharp, they are soft, not hard, rigid. These are the properties or the characteristics of the amorphous solid. Next point is the isomorphism and the polymorphism. What is by isomorphism? When two or more substances having the same crystal structure are said to be isomorphous, and the phenomenon is called as the isomorphism. In these substances, the chemical composition has the same atomic ratio. Here two examples are given in your book, that is the first one is the first pair is the NF and the MgO, in which one cation and the one anion is there, while that means one Na positive in NAF and one Mg di positive in MgO, F negative in NAF and O di negative in MgO, that means 1:1. Then in a second pair, NaNO3 and the CaCO3 are CaCO3 is there, and the atomic ratio is 1:1:3. This is called as the isomorphism. Iso means same, mor means form. when two or more substances having the same crystal structure called as the isomorphous, and the phenomenon is called as the isomorphism. Then what is by polymorphism? A single substances that exist in a two or more forms of a crystalline structure is said to be polymorphous. And the polymorphism is also known as allotropy, and the well-known example of the polymorphism or the allotropy is the allotropes of a carbon, that is diamond, graphite, and fullerene. Some other examples are also given in your book. Calcite and aragonite are two forms of a calcium carbonate. Similarly, alpha quartz, beta quartz, and cristobalite are three several forms of a silica. Here in polymorphism, a single substance shows a different crystalline structure, and that different crystalline structures are called as the polymorphs and or the allotropes. Here the different crystalline structure is due to the different condition of solidification. So a single substance shows the different forms of a crystalline structure, and they are called as the allotropes or the polymorphs. Here question may ask like this: the distinguish between crystalline solid and the amorphous solid in board examination. Then you have to write at least 4 points. Distinguish between crystalline solid and the amorphous solid. You have to remember the simple simple distinguishing point between the crystalline solid and the amorphous solid. A crystalline solid show the long range order. Simple, easily you keep in your mind. Amorphous solid shows the short range order. Then crystalline solid shows anisotropy. Amorphous solid shows the isotropy. Melting point are sharp in case of a crystalline solid, and melting points are not sharp in case of a amorphous solid. Then crystalline solid undergoes clean cleavage but not the amorphous solid. These crystalline solid are the real solid, but amorphous solids are also called as the pseudo solid or the supercooled liquid, because one point is given in your book. First point, The constituent particle in amorphous solids are randomly arranged in the particle do not have long range order. Then here the particles of a liquid are in a constant motion. The stop action photograph of a liquid describes the amorphous state. That means amorphous solids are nearer to the liquid state. So they are called as the supercooled liquid or the pseudo solid. That means they are not a real solid, but the crystalline solids are the real solid. Then some most important terms are involved in this part of the chapter, that is the anisotropy, isotropy, long range order and the short range order. Then sometimes question may ask like this, what is anisotropy? For 1 mark definition, and for the 2 mark explain in a detail. Then the definition: the ability of a crystalline substance to change their physical properties when measured in a different direction, called as the anisotropy. In this diagram we observe that there are 3 arrows or the 3 lines are there, EF, AB and CD. On these 3 lines different particles are to be aligned. In EF line, small, that is the white particle, and the large black particles are lying on it, while on line AB only black and large particles are lying, while on a CD line only the white particles are to be lie. It means that when we measure the property along these 3 different directions, the particles are not same lying on these 3 lines. So the value, the properties, measurements are different in a different direction. This is called as the anisotropy. Isotropy is nothing but the ability of amorphous substance to exhibit identical physical properties even though measured in a different direction is called as the isotropy. This isotropy is observed in case of a amorphous solid because the arrangement of the particles is not in a 3 dimension or the regular. That is, in case of amorphous solid there is a short range order, while in case of a crystalline solid there is a long range order. That means here we observe that in a crystalline solid, here in crystalline solid, here the particles are perfectly arranged and all the particles are aligned with each other in 3 dimension. So this is called as the long range order. But in case of amorphous solid, here amorphous solid, the particles are not perfectly aligned with each other. That means first particles is aligned with the second, second with the third, but not first with the fourth or second with the fourth particle. That means their arrangement is not regular and this is called as the short range order. In the next period, in the next lecture, we discuss about the classification of a crystalline solid. Okay.